when you're growing up, the pituitary gland secretes this particular melanin that's vital for your growth. After you get to the height or whatever it is that you're going to grow into adult, after you physically grow to the point you're going to get, around 18, 19 or whatever. Some people, maybe 23, they grow an inch, whatever. Whenever you do, after you stop growing, this stuff still secretes because it's also used for you to grow in consciousness. Now, the key is this particular stuff, if you stop using your mind and using your capacity to learn new shit, this particular growth hormone shuts down in all people. When we get a certain age, learning is not an option anymore. We only learn in reference to our career. You understand what I'm saying? And basically, we spend life trying to be entertained. So it's futile. One brother come up, he said, "Why you reading those books, man? Are you studying for a job or something?" I said, "No." And I didn't tell him. I didn't even tell him I was lecturing. I said, "No, I'm just reading just to know." "That's odd." Is it a novel? I said, no. He said, "That's odd. You're just reading that stuff just to know?" He could not fathom me wanting to learn something other than getting a damn job or getting certified. You know, with goddamn professional people, it's your certification. Cracker tell you, no, your degree ain't shit. You got to go back and get stuck in the butt another time for me to let me know you worthy. And you go get certified again. You see what I'm saying? But you don't never do nothing based on consciousness. So, because we don't have the capacity to learn, this pituitary gland shuts down in us. What the deal is with you, if you start going back into studying or trying to know, studying sometimes doesn't necessarily mean rote learning or trying to get a lot of information. You can also do it through, it's just learning shit that you haven't learned before. You can do it through video, audio, books, different things. Not books and everything is not for everybody. But there's different ways. We're living in the information age where you got different ways. You got audio, you got video, you got CD, you got all the shit you need. CD-ROM, you got all kinds of ways. You got internet and all that. But my point is the faculty to learn something new. You understand what I'm saying? Most adults, that is supposed to be something you do in high school or either in college. And even in college, you don't really learn that. You just meeting a certain qualification so your ass don't flunk out. You see where I'm coming from? That's called rote learning. What's that?
In reality, when you stop growing, you begin to die.
You begin to die. You begin to die. So the key is the pituitary gland only secretes based on if you're going to learn. It's just like anything else. If you will it to be, and your body say, well, we're going to give you this particular divine ambrosia, is what it's called in the Greek mythology, food of the gods. They named the fruit after it, but its ambrosia is fucking melanin. Anytime you hear the word ambrosia in mystical shit, that's melanin. You see what I'm saying? Food of the god. The God told them in the Garden of Eden, don't eat from that tree. That's melanin. You don't need to be tapping in it because you need to be a slave to my ass. Don't eat from there and all because you're going to be like me. And I don't want you to be like me. Because if you be like me, you're going to be greater than me. Because I'm a damn chicken shit motherfucker that stole some shit from heaven and took the great mother and threw her down to hell. That's the God y'all worship. A subordinate deity. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Anyway, this particular stuff now, it is imperative that you spend time trying to know, whatever way it takes to know. But the key is not all I'm trying to know on a side issue to what I'm doing. No, knowing has to become first. And the other stuff, although you do it to get the money, it's supposed to be something that you're doing, you know, undercover, just to get the money or whatever, because I don't advise you not to work or whatever type shit, because don't let nobody fool you. This shit out here ain't no joke. But my point is, it's supposed to be, the job does not supposed to be important, not even your children. Oh, my child, fuck your child. You don't supposed to put anything at this particular time right now. Your child is better off for you to sacrifice now and to know. And if you know, the more you know, the more and more you have to tell it, and it don't have to need the things the artificial things to make it feel insecure when it don't get that artificial bullshit if it has a certain amount of knowledge. You see where I'm coming from? So the more you know, the more and more you can make an adequate child that's not grown up on superficial shit. So even the child, well, I live for my child. No. How you live for a child? A child is a semi-retarded person. That's what a child is. That's what the damn ancients thought. Until that child get to a certain realm, it's a semi-retarded person. That's why you always talking down to it, goo-goo, and you acting like a fucking fool. If you take the child away and somebody saw you talking that way, that's that motherfucker crazy. If he didn't see the child in front of you. Now, that don't mean that the child does not have potential. But my point is, the child should not be the key focus of why you living. You supposed to live and you supposed to doggone bring the child up to standards. But people are now living for children like a doggone, like a chandelier. You see what I'm saying? That ain't no different than a Nintendo game or a new car. You understand where I'm coming from here? So in actuality, there's nothing supposed to be important at this particular time other than your damn learning. Not even your children. Even if you got to take them out back and cut their goddamn neck. Go see Beloved, and you see the time on it. I knew what time it was when she did the shit. Spirit told her, hey, send the motherfucker back to the spiritual realm. Because in actuality, she's an entrapped soul down here anyway. You don't kill nothing that's divine. You just transfer it back to the other realm. Because nobody wants to be down here. This is the stuff you got to understand. This is a prison house doing time on planet Earth. You're doing time on planet Earth. That's what the Gnostic scriptures is talking about. Oh, why have you thrown me into a stinking ass body? I feel alienated, longing to get back home from where I came from. Somebody took you from the heaven realm and put you down here in this bullshit. Person called God. Because we are not gods. It's not fitting to call us gods. We are hiding gods. We are chaos beings. We're going to get into that tonight. We are what God is made out of.